Hello, everybody. I'm doing another live stream today. I'm going to be going to donate plasma again today. But before I do that, and while my roommate's at work, there's a few things I wanted to talk about, okay? I wanted to talk about the idea of the soul and whether the soul has a gender. This is something that's been on my mind recently. And I want to go really deep into that topic because it's very interesting. Okay, so before I do that, though, there is something that I do want to share. I'm going to screen share because there's a few things on GoFundMe that I want to show you. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay, and first thing I want to do is I want to show you this fundraiser that I recently started to help my mom with dental care. And there's a little bit of information there. See, my mom has real bad teeth problems, and she's been in poverty as long as I can remember. And I'm trying to help her get some dental help, but by now it's so expensive, and it is going to cost close to $8,000 everything they need to do. So I'm trying to help her a little bit by little, but it's going to take like 2 to 3 years probably at the rate things are going. And so I was inspired by my roommate actually to start this fundraiser. And I want to talk about my roommate's fundraiser as well. So I want to copy the link to this fundraiser and put it in the comments in case anybody wants to donate to the fundraiser to help my mom with her teeth. So there's that. But then I also want to share another fundraiser. Okay, so here's the best way to find this fundraiser. So if you go on GoFundMe and you search for Chop the Top, then at the first result here is by my roommate, River Elliott. And there's some other people who have a similar title who are also wanting the same thing. So Chop the Top is referring to double mastectomy. My roommate is non-binary, but sort of like a trans man and wants his boobs removed. That's basically it. So mastectomy, removal of the breasts, and that's going to take a while. And my roommate and I are working together. We live together and we're trying to save money, but I want to also share the link to this fundraiser for people who would like to help my roommate get top surgery. So I'm going to put this in the comments as well if I can. So anybody who does come upon this live stream should be able to look in the comments on YouTube or Twitter or whatever where this live stream is posted to see which of these fundraisers that they wanna donate to. So there's that, and I also donated to my roommate's fundraiser too. So anyway, I'm going to stop sharing the screen now that I've shared the links and talked about that a little bit. And then I want to get into the topic of the soul and whether the soul has a gender. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about the soul. Okay, so the concept of a soul is an interesting one. Some call it the soul or the self or the spirit of someone. People use terms interchangeably. Some say the mind even, And I feel like the concept of the soul is an interesting enough concept, philosophically, scientifically, and religiously, that it's worth talking about. And many people do talk about the concept of a soul and whether or not a soul exists. And so for my purposes of this this live stream, what I'm talking about the soul, I'm talking about, is there something of us that is not identical with our body. And here's an example. Have you ever seen the movie Freaky Friday, or any of the other movies where people switch bodies? Well, those movies, while fiction, I think, are where two people are in different bodies. Like, in Freaky Friday, there were two versions of that movie, Freaky Friday, by the way, where a mother and a daughter trade places where they're in each other's bodies, and very funny movies. But here's an interesting concept now. Freaky Friday, if that were to actually happen, that would prove the existence of the soul, in that a person could be inside a different body. Think about Freaky Friday. Think about that concept, okay? Because that's exactly what I'm talking about. So, if you put one person in a different body, then that person would still have their thoughts, their memories, all their experiences and beliefs and preferences, but they would be in a different body. And I feel like this topic has interesting implications for transgender people, because many transgender people would describe themselves as being one gender but born in the wrong body. And so here's the thing. The reason that the concept of the soul is so interesting is because if somebody doesn't believe in the soul, then they have to try to explain transgender people through some sort of weird scientific means. And they have to explain gender identity in terms of brain chemistry and the brain and the hormones and chemicals and whatever it is scientists do these days. I don't even know what to believe about what scientists say and their scientific studies. And no, I haven't really done my research on this because, first of all, I'm lazy. Second of all, I am not really interested in discussing this from the strictly materialist scientific point of view, because that's not as interesting. Okay, what is interesting is talking about the soul and whether it has a gender, because this has profound implications for your religious beliefs, as well as whether trans women are women and whether trans men are men. This is serious stuff, people. Like, seriously. Also, my air conditioning came on because apparently it's hotter than 77 degrees, but I'm going to turn it up because I can't stand the sound while I'm live streaming. So I'll be right back in a second. Yeah, I can hear the air conditioning when it comes on while I'm live streaming, and I don't like it. So anyway, back to the soul. So first of all, if the soul is real and there's a part of you that's independent of your body and theoretically can survive death, well, then there's the possibility of the afterlife. Now, I know that a lot of people, including some of my best friends, don't believe in the afterlife or the soul and stuff like that. And I didn't used to either. And I'm going to talk about what changed there. Oh, I have some comments. Okay, Neo Skeptic. He's like, why do you hate Canadians? Do you believe Canadians have souls? Well, maybe some of them do. Okay, but okay. A little sidetrack here, okay? So why do you hate Canadians? Okay, just to be clear, I don't really hate all Canadians. But I will what I what I do have to tell you though is that my roommate had a really, really bad experience with his ex-boyfriend up in Canada. And I don't want to get into the details because that's personal, that's between them. But if you knew the shitty story of his boyfriend that asked him to marry him, and just nonsense, but then there was drama that went on, and also the transgender issue with my roommate that was female and is now trying to be a man. You know, it's a lot of drama, and it's tragic, and it's even worse than that. But it's not my place to talk about that. So that's why I think it was rule number 7, or one of those rules. My 6 or 7 was the rule of Stream Club was, don't move to Canada. So just to be clear, it's not that I hate all Canadians, but I recommend not moving to Canada, so you don't have horrible experiences and be unfortunate enough to meet my my roommate's ex-boyfriend. So that's about that. Although there are some good people who live in Canada, like Serenity Poirier and Christine Kruzelnicki and Trick Slattery. There's some people that are Canadian that are my friends, you know, at least on Facebook. You know how Facebook, you can have like 5,000 friends, but you don't talk to any of them? That's the story of my life. But anyway, back to the soul. What's that sound? Lawnmower. Okay, anyway, I get distracted by sounds. It's horrible. Anyway, about this soul concept. Now, I didn't used to believe in the soul, but being transgender has really changed my thinking on a lot of things. Because when there is a sense of being male or female that's different from what your body is telling you and what your body looks like, then you have to explain that. And obviously, transgender people know this experience, but not everybody agrees that there's a soul in the first place. So here's the thing, but first of all, if it could be absolutely unequivocally proven in some demonstrable way that a soul either does or does not exist, then things would change. So first of all, if the soul is somehow proven not to exist, which I think is kind of hard to do, because you can't really prove a negative. You can't really prove something doesn't exist, although there's some logical reasoning that can lead you to think it doesn't. You know, the existence of God is a separate question. But if we had a Freaky Friday moment, like what I said, where people literally switched bodies and 2 people were in each other's bodies, they would be able to prove that they were that person, because they could know things that only that person knew. They would know memories they'd never even told anybody, but that the people involved knew. And if I was in my roommate's body, for example, I would still be able to play Tetris probably like I can now, although it might be different just because of the different finger size. But if we had a Freaky Friday moment, that would prove the soul, you know. But so here's the issue. When people ask me if I'm a boy or a girl, or I'm a man or a woman, which happens occasionally, usually by little children at Hy-Vee while I'm working, there's 2 truths to tell. And this is something I talked about with Honesty the Unicorn in my book, Chandler's Honesty. Actually, I should show my books real quick. Yeah. Yeah. See, in my books that I wrote, here's the first book, Chandler's Honesty, The Truth About a Child's Past Told Straight from the Horse's Mouth. So there's the first book, and it talks a lot about my emotional struggles and my whole gender identity crisis. So there's that one. And then there was part 4, Chandler's Honesty, A Horse in the Night. So there's that book as well. And that takes place after the first book. And then there's part 5, The Light of Truth. So this book is really nice. It's super short, but it's really nice. Plus, it has the best looking cover. So anyway, but the concept that I have a female soul is something that I talk about in my books, and I believe in the soul now. And it's hard to explain this to people, but a lot of it has to do with the fact that well, there's certain things, okay? There's certain things that I've come to understand. First, being transgender has made me realize that, am I a man? Yes, because I have a male body. But am I a woman? Yes, because I have a female soul. I have the soul of a woman. At least I believe I do. So if let's just say, for example, that I'm totally bonkers and my belief in my female soul is just nonsense, then you can disregard what I say. If you don't believe in the soul, you don't believe me. But here's what it comes down to, is that when it comes to a society, what should the approach to transgender people be? I think about this a lot. You get what I'm saying? Because okay, can you define what you mean by soul? Yeah, sure, neo-skeptic. You came in a few minutes late, so let me go back to this. So the idea of a soul is that there's a part of you, sort of like the Freaky Friday moment. Well, like what I was saying, how you could be the same person with your same memories, thoughts, feelings, beliefs, everything, but be in another person's body. You would still know that you were you. You would know you were in the wrong body. And now the idea of the soul, I guess it could be either with or without the idea that it survives the death of the body. I'm not sure, but generally the soul would be a part of you that's non-physical. And this gets interesting. In fact, I do want to talk about the concept of the soul and how this would interact with free will. Because as you people know, I don't believe in free will, but I do believe in the soul. But the soul, just like everything else, would still be deterministic. It would still be all the prior causes that led to you thinking as you do, your experiences, your life, you know. Now, some say this is all just stored in your physical brain. Somehow it's stored like data on a computer hard drive in your brain, all these things. And then when the brain is destroyed, the data is gone, much like a computer. But what I'm saying is that we have a sort of a soul where things are like uploaded to an online storage thing. You get what I'm saying? Like how you have Dropbox or OneDrive to back up your online your files online from your computer. My idea is that in a similar way, you have a soul that could remember everything, even after you, if your body was completely destroyed, including your brain, that data would still be somewhere. That's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about a soul. You know, so here's the thing, is that I feel like most things can be explained in terms of you know, science and the brain and neurochemistry and all that sort of stuff. But regardless of whether you believe in a soul or whether you're a strict materialist that everything is physical, free will is impossible either way, either due to prior causes or due to true randomness, acausality, where things happen for no reason. And if things happen for no reason, you still aren't choosing them. So there's still no free will, just to be clear. But I do believe in the soul now. And it's weird. First of all, when people talk about transgender experiences and how they knew they were a different gender than their body suggested, Well, it's kind of strange because everybody has a different story to tell. So I want to explain first my own story briefly, because obviously I was born male, and I experienced male puberty, and you can tell by my voice, obviously. So I'm always gonna look or sound a little bit masculine, and I get that, and I've had to accept that, even though I don't like it. But in spite of this, I feel like, how some people say that they always knew that they were transgender? And I don't think that's the case in all cases. Like, I didn't know when I was 5 years old. I didn't know what a gender was. I didn't know what male or female even was. I thought girls were just people with long hair. I didn't even know there were different private parts. I didn't know anything, you know. But puberty was interesting because with puberty, there's all these hormones and your body changes. And some of us like the changes and some of us don't. In fact, most people just don't like change for the sake of how stressful it is. But what happened with me was most interesting because I had this increasing desire to be a girl instead of a boy. And I had these dreams that I was pregnant and that I was breastfeeding babies. And I even had this one dream that I was having sex with a man, and it scared the hell out of me. But something in my subconscious or mind or soul or whatever was telling me that I was female and that in my dreams, I could get pregnant, I could have sex with a man, and I could breastfeed babies and all these things that physically biological women do, but that I couldn't really do. So I had this ongoing thing probably since I was 14, 15, 16 or something like that. So I had these dreams about these things. And so I knew something was off. I knew something was really off, and that I didn't know exactly what I was, but I knew that I wasn't normal. I wasn't common or normal, whatever normal means these days. I wasn't like other men. And I knew that I wasn't sexually attracted to women either. So there's that aspect of it. And now I identify as asexual. And that's a whole other live stream right there. The asexuality is a whole other live stream. But here's what I find most interesting is that in spite of being born with a male body, and in spite of having a male puberty where I was filled with testosterone by my testicles, which I used to have. I don't have testicles anymore. And then it still did not give me a male gender identity. It still didn't make me feel male, even though I had probably more testosterone in my teenage years and in my early 20s that I do now, because now I'm old. I'm 34. And my testosterone was already getting pretty low anyway, even before the testicles were removed, which probably happened because they were damaged. But even when I had the highest testosterone, that didn't make me feel like a man. It never did. And so what I'm realizing is that you can't really explain somebody's gender identity in terms of what their body looks like or what their hormone levels are like. And attempts to convince people that they need to accept their birth sex and that they are whatever their body shows that's weird. That's really weird because it doesn't work that way. And if people if people could understand that being transgender is a very real experience, even though it may not be the easiest thing to scientifically prove to people have this experience, like, seriously. And we have another comment. Hello from Hungry Billy Bruce, Rogue Cock, whatever. Oh, Rogue Cock, I love that you got the chicken with the rainbow flag. Oh, I love apocalypse now. Oh, I love that. That's like the funniest picture, man, or whatever. Let's see. I can't even explain who I am due to all the programming and multiple personality shit we're subjected to. Lol. Cool. Looks like my favorite commenters are, oh, they banned the rogue cock handle. Seriously? Oh man, that sucks. I don't know why they got to do that. Apparently, okay, look, people. I know that. Let's see. I cannot post as rogue cock in chat. That is so sad. Yeah. Apparently, cock is now a bad word. I know that cock is used as a slang word for penis. I know that, but it also means a rooster. It means a chicken, basically. Or I think it might refer to both male and female chickens. But regardless of that, um, anyway, back to what I was saying. So people being transgender is such a real experience. Like, and if you visited any transgender groups or you know transgender people or you are one, then you know what I'm talking about. So we know that the experience of being transgender is a real thing, but we don't really know how to describe it. It has philosophical and scientific and religious and societal complications and implications and whatever other Asians there are. Yeah. I love you, man. I love that. Love you, man. Yeah. See, the funny thing is there's this movie called I Love You, Man. And so whenever I see someone say love you, man, I like it, and then he says dude. And now here's the thing about it is that I'm not really that offended by being called man or dude or anything like that. In fact, my roommate and I call each other dude all the time. Like it's cool. Plus, we love that movie. But here's the thing. So anybody who's transgender or knows people who are transgender knows that it's such a strong feeling. It's a real feeling that people experience, but we still haven't figured out how it all works yet. And I feel like being transgender and the fact that people are willing to work their butt off and save up money and ask for help fundraisers and get permanent surgery to remove body parts and change their bodies in all kinds of ways, shows you that the transgender experience is real. Because people wouldn't do those things if they didn't really have a desire to look like the opposite sex. And I understand it. Like, I totally get it, because you want people, the reason that transgender people change their bodies so often is because they would prefer to change the way people see them. So obviously I like it when people refer to me with female pronouns or refer to me as female. And people do call me Chastity at work. And they refer to me as she and her and stuff like that. But I also know that they're doing that out of respect and to be nice, but not because I really look all that female. I know that. I know I still look like a man, but from the backside, I get called ma'am all the time because my glorious long hair. I love it. So I want to talk about that. Oh yeah, I like CWR. Yeah. And CWR is my initials. I like Chastity White Rose. That's what it means. So yeah, so my name, Chastity White Rose, I've explained that elsewhere, but for the purpose of this live stream, if this is the first video you ever see of me, know that my name, Chastity White Rose, literally is meant to be not only the girliest name I could come up with, but also because the white rose represents celibacy and virginity, and chastity literally means celibacy or sexual abstinence. And so because I'm asexual and because I vowed celibacy for life, I've basically taken a vow of chastity, and that's how I got my name Chastity. So there's the story of that. Now, my experience as a transgender person has been different than other people's because okay, let me back up. So the reason being transgender people I can't talk. The reason it's so difficult for other transgender people to be themselves is because they have complications that I don't have. Other people, are in sexual or romantic relationships, and some of them are married, some of them have kids. And so then, like, for example, when a trans woman comes out and transitions, a biological man that transitions to be as female as they can be, well, then their wife often divorces them, and they and have a divorce, and so they lose custody of their kids, and they can't see their kids, and then all their friends and family reject them, and so there's a lot to lose. If you already have an existing wife and kids, or husband and kids, like you could be a trans man, you might be a female to male, and so if there's a female that becomes male, then their husband might divorce them, and the same thing happens. And of course, there's also gay people too. There's the whole gay people thing too, and sometimes people could even be in a gay relationship, but then that person decides, oh, well, if you're going to be this other gender, then I'm no longer attracted to you. So then they still divorce them. So basically, what it comes down to is that people, when they are in these relationships, they're not loving the person, they're loving the body. How else do you explain that? If your spouse did a gender transition, and then you leave them and divorce them because you're no longer attracted to them, then that shows you only love their body, and that makes you an asshole. Because sure, you may not be physically attracted to them, and you may not want to have sex with them, like you did before, but you should still love them, and I think you should stay together, even. And I'm not completely against the idea of people getting divorced if it's for good practical reasons, but they should not reject them as a person. That's what I'm saying. But anyway, I do want to respond to a few comments. So our favorite chicken commenter said to tie it to the free will idea. Now, I did earlier in this live stream, before you came on, I talked about how free will is still impossible, even with the soul, because it would be causal. It would be the prior causes that led to your soul being the way it is, even though we don't know all those causes. But I do want to tie it to the free will thing in one other area, because if we had free will and that we could just choose whatever and make any choice we want, we would be able to change our beliefs and our opinions. We'd be able to change our gender identity to match our body. If we could change our gender identity to match what our body is, that would sure be a lot cheaper, and we wouldn't have to spend so much money changing our body through surgery, for example. So the fact that there's transgender people is yet another way of showing that free will is impossible. Because if I had a choice to accept being male, being born in a male body, I would. And then for my roommate, it's difficult too. My roommate, which I refer to as he, which is, like I said before, non-binary, but very much like a trans man. Like it's very interesting. Let's see. Anyway, okay, let's see. Bring that shit into a new form. Partners. Hey, you love your curls, right? Yeah, I do love my curls. I have like this natural curls to some of my hair. I love my hair. I just love my hair. I like to pet myself. I like to feel my hair. I don't know why, but my hair is something I'm really proud of for some odd reason, even though I didn't choose it. I was just born this way. Also, gotta be truthful. Yeah, honesty is the best policy. Why do you think the horse is named Honesty? Honesty the unicorn. So anyway, yeah, okay, let's see here. It's also about what we like to do. Like, where do we like to go? Hell, it's hard to even relate to family sometimes. Hell yeah. Okay. Anyway, as I was saying, so yeah, unicorn. Yeah. So anyway, as I was saying, I'm not able to simply choose to not be transgender. It would be nice if I could, you know. Even my roommate has expressed this idea that he wished he didn't have to be transgender. It'd be easier if he could just be a female to match the body. That would be so much easier and cheaper. But he's just dealing with some real bad shit of being rejected by friends and family, and it makes me so sad. Because see, for me, I never had much to lose. Okay, I'd never had much to lose because I don't really. I have for my family, I have my mom. I also have my sister, which that's a whole other story right there. But because I don't really have many family ties, and because I'm not married, I don't have kids, I don't date people, I'm not interested in sex. Everything is easier for me. You know, it's easier for me just because I don't have as much to lose. But for my roommate, it's a little bit different. So I feel bad for him because he gets really depressed sometimes. So I try to cheer him up in whatever way I can. But anyway, so here's the thing, is that the idea of the gender soul, do we have a soul and does it have a gender? And I feel like it does. I feel like I have a female soul and my roommate has a male soul. It's just too obvious, because when we met each other, like, we just instantly connected on a lot of things. We understood each other because we're both transgender. And have you ever had this experience where you know someone is transgender even before they know? Yeah, that's what I could detect about my roommate. I totally knew that. Like, my roommate is such a chill bro. But anyway, where was I going with this? Okay, so now, if a gender identity of a person is part of their soul, then it's part of who they are, and no amount of surgery or counseling or hormones would make them not transgender. That's the thing about it. So, for example, if you might have been born in a male body, but no amount of testosterone that your body produces or that you take is going to make you a man. It might change your body so that people see a man, but it doesn't make you a man. And similarly, having boobs and a uterus that and ovaries that produce estrogen and having a female body doesn't make you a woman. If you know in your soul that you're not a woman, like my roommate does, then you're not a woman, at least at the soul level, no matter how female your body looks. And it's interesting because it all brings us back to the question of, what is a man? What is a woman? And let's see, that's right. And gender alone doesn't really bind things. So, okay, what is a man? What is a woman? Because a lot of people assume that a man is somebody who has a beard and has a penis and testicles, and that a woman is someone who has ovaries and a vagina and boobs and all that. That's simply physical. If somebody assumes that by having certain body parts that makes you a man or that makes you a woman, well, then we have another problem, because people are like, okay, well, if these body parts make me be male or female, then how about I have surgery and have these body parts removed or changed? Well, then people say, well, no, that doesn't make you a man. That doesn't make you a woman. Then which is it? So if having a penis makes you a man, then what happens when the penis is removed? If having testicles makes you a man, then what happens when the testicles are removed, as is my case? You know, if having boobs makes you a woman, then what happens when the boobs are removed through surgery? Then what are you? So you see the problem we have when we try to define what a man or woman is by their body parts, because body parts can be changed. And what I'm saying is that the soul is something that's a little bit more constant. Now, that's not to say that people can't change. Obviously, people change, you know, like I didn't used to be vegan, you know, and being vegan is sort of a soul change. But is it really? Think about it. Like, as I was explaining to my roommate, you know, we all have access to the same information. We have the internet to know the truth of what's happening to animals, you know. But some of us care and some of us don't. Some people know that they're paying to have animals murdered in factory farms and other ways by buying animal products, but they don't care. Some people like me and my roommate do care, and we're ethical vegans. So I think that there is just as I think there's a male or female soul, I think there's a vegan and a carnivore soul as well. I really do, because you know, I feel like, you know, some things are physical, like, you know, whether you have whether you have black or white skin, it is a physical attribute. It says nothing about your personality or who you are. But the problem with gender is that society has this idea that being a man or woman is who you are, rather than just physical attributes. And they're like, this is crazy. Like, this is just weird. Like, people, they pointlessly gender everything, you know, and they think that the color of flowers that they buy, or what food they buy at a supermarket should be for a man or a woman. Like, for example, like Luna bars. I like Luna bars. You know, some of them are vegan, some of them are not. You got to check the ingredients. But like the Luna bars, it says it's a protein bar for women. So, I mean, I eat them, but you don't have to be a woman to eat Luna bars. Anybody can eat them because they're food. So why do we even have food for men or women? Like, it really matters. It's food. You eat it, you know? So people are just dumb. Like, you know, like, what's up with that? But anyway, let me see here. It seems a machine with a small operating system footprint, and so programming defines some things. Like, so much of it is programming. It's easy to see, but difficult to undo or change. The rabbit world is coming along. I've doubled the ground space and I'm creating a bridge to a treehouse for them. My dog does eat rabbits. Truth. Oh, that's so sad. Yeah, see, our chicken friend, Apocalypse Now, it has pet rabbits. I've seen his videos on YouTube. But anyway, so anyway, where was I going? So anyway, yeah, the point here being that this concept of the soul is one that I think is going to continually come up, because the idea of the soul had just about died. Because, you know, obviously, if you are a Christian or a Muslim, or many branches of Hindu or Buddhist even, like, many people believe in the soul or the self, that there's a true part of you that's not your body. Many religions believe this, but there's been a decline in religion in recent years, and more people are agnostic or atheist or pantheist, you know, or something like that. So religion is declining, and most people have accepted the idea that there is no soul, everything's all brain, everything is all physical and all that. And I did for a while, but being transgender sort of changed my mind on that. But it wasn't just being transgender, it was the conversations I had with Honesty the Unicorn in my dreams. It was the things I talked about in my dreams, and and Honesty of the Unicorn and How Truth is My God and all kinds of weird shit that I discussed. And I'll tell you one thing, either the content of my books, it's either true and this all happened, and I see in the comments, it's either all true and it all happened, or I'm completely just bonkers and my dreams are not real. So which is it? Either way, it's most interesting. So I leave you, the viewers and the readers, to decide whether I'm crazy or not, but I believe what I believe, and I do believe in the soul now. And I believe in truth more than anything. And so I'm telling my truth, I'm telling you what I believe and what I think about things at the moment. And if I'm wrong and I find out, I can always tell you later. But we do have some new comments. Okay, so what's up with the Coca-Cola? Yeah, see, I am a caffeine addict. Yeah, see, this is actually Coke Zero. See, the zero sugar. Now, Monique is not happy that I drink soda still. And believe me, I've actually tried to stop drinking soda a few times, but oh man, it's not worth it. I've been able to go 24 hours without soda before, but only if I drink a lot of kombucha. Like kombucha is nice, but it's so expensive. That's the problem. Like I can get a big old bottle of kombucha. It's the best tasting thing in the world. And some of them even have caffeine. They have like black tea or green tea and or different, even coffee mixed in with the kombucha. And kombucha is like a tea, but it's very bubbly. It helps digestion. So I love kombucha drinks that I find at Hy-Vee, but they're so much more expensive. They're like 4 times the price for the same amount of liquid. So I still drink pop just because it's cheaper, but I also do like Coke Zero. In fact, I also like 7-Up and Sprite, Diet 7-Up or Diet Sprite, but because they don't have caffeine, they just don't really give me the same awesome feeling. Like when I'm loaded with caffeine, well, then I start talking about spirituality and the soul and transgender issues, and I get the best high scores in Tetris. Like seriously, people, have you seen my Tetris scores recently? I've been uploading so many videos of me playing Tetris. Like, sure, this is a sidetrack, but I have played Tetris in so many forms. I've played the Android mobile app through an emulator. I've played the Game Boy and NES ROMs recently. I've played Tetris 99 on the Switch. I've played the Facebook Tetris that's built into Facebook. I've played Tetris on the official Tetris website. It runs in a browser. I've played Tetrio. I've played Puyo Puyo Tetris. I've played so many different versions of Tetris. Man, I don't watch video game videos. Oh man, you're missing out, dude. Like seriously, if you watch my Tetris videos, like you don't have to understand it all, but just look at how I place those pieces. It's so geometric. Have you ridden a bike lately? Actually, I haven't ridden my bike for a little while. I got a new seat on my bike, but my knee has still been hurting. And it's unfortunate because I walk to work and walk to and from work, and I'm walking around at work. But a bike is different, and my right knee still hurts quite a bit. I try to act like it doesn't, and I even joined Planet Fitness. Can you believe it? I joined Planet Fitness, and I sometimes walk on the treadmill, and I like walking, but after a while, my knee starts hurting. So then when my knee starts hurting, then I go lift some weights and stuff like that. Plus, I have weights at home I lift. So I haven't ridden a bike lately just because my knee is still screwed up. and I don't know if it'll ever make a full recovery. It has improved from what it was, but my knee still hurts so bad that I don't really, I don't ride a bike like I used to, and I don't dance like I used to, and it makes me sad. So instead, I record live streams and play Tetris and hang out with my roommate and work my job basically. And also, I was already going to be leaving to donate plasma, but then I wanted to take this opportunity to record this live stream while I had a chance. So let me see. Is there anything? Let's see. Is there anything that I still need to talk about? Because I was talking about the concept of the soul and transgender people. Do it. Dance now, man. I'll dance with you. Well, this ain't much of a dance, but let me try to do a little dance. There's so many songs. I should do one more song. Oh yeah. Oh, caught in a bad romance. Oh, caught in a bad romance. Oh, bad romance. I don't really know the lyrics of that song. It's funny. Oh man, it's so funny. But there is a song that I really love. I've been playing Tetris Effect Connected. And so the lyrics of this song, in fact, okay, here's what I want to do. I want to find the lyrics of this song. Tetris, wait, let's see. The Deep Connected. Let's see. I want to find the lyrics of this song. Okay. I need the lyrics of this. Let's see here. Okay, I found it. I think I found it. Yes, I have found the link for the lyrics of this song because I do want to sing a song. Okay, but before I sing the song, I should use the restroom because I really have to pee, and that's just the truth. You know, I always speak my truth. So I'll be back in a few minutes here. Okay, I am back. So, okay, let me drink some water. I drink water and pop. This is actually water here. Okay, so I posted the link in the comments, and at least it'll show up on YouTube. I'm not sure if it will show up on Facebook or not, but I'm going to try to sing this song Now, we know that our friend Poffo hates it when I sing in my live streams, but I'm going to do it anyway because I just got to sing. I'm going to sing from my soul. Okay, so let me try to sing this. When you were born, something changed. My heart could not contain the miracle of this world and all that it creates. With every passing day, the winds might blow stronger and carry us away, but we will hold on to joy to light the way, to keep the reminder that love does not escape. I'm yours forever. There is no end in sight for us. Nothing could measure the kind of strength inside our hearts. It's all connected. We're all together in this life. Don't you forget it. We're all connected in this life. We're all connected in this life. We're all connected in this love. Beyond the stones and the seas, the sun and the breeze, the stars and the galaxy. Beyond the time that we take, the days that we make, I'm always gonna be with you. I'm yours forever. There is no end in sight for us. Nothing could measure the kind of strength inside our hearts. It's all connected. We're all together in this life. Don't you forget it. We're all connected in this life. Oh, we're all connected in this life. We're all connected in this love. Now, that's not quite as awesome as listening to the original song from the actual game, because now, first of all, play Tetris Effect Connected. It's available on the Windows Store if you're on Windows 10. It's also going to be available very soon on Steam. It's sometime in August. So you can play Tetris Effect Connected if you're into playing Tetris type games, but it's worth buying that game just to hear the soundtrack. But you can also buy the soundtrack on iTunes as well, like I did. So the original singer of that song did an even better job than I could do singing it. But I love that song. I'm yours forever. There is no end to us inside. Nothing could measure the kind of strength inside our hearts. It's all connected. We're all together in this life. Don't you forget it. We're all connected in this life. Oh, I love that song. I love that song. Anyway, yeah, I should have already ended this live stream and went to donate plasma, but I am having so much fun. Let's see. Let's see here. Now, did I talk about everything with the soul? Well, I don't really know, but I mean, transgender people are interesting, and I believe in the soul. What else was there I wanted to say about transgender people? Well, I very much really want to help other transgender people. Most notably, I want to help my roommate in any way I can. That's why I shared this fundraiser, you know. And I get it. I get the experience of being transgender, and I can only imagine how bad it must be, what he's going through with his family and other people that reject him over being trans. It's not fun. And so it's so obvious that people don't have the choice of whether they're transgender or not. Just like they don't have the choice of whether they're gay or straight or bi or whatever. And I wish more people could understand that. You know, that being trans is It's not a choice, because if it was, nobody would put themselves through that shit. You know, it would be nice if we could just be happy in the body that we were born with and identify as what society wants us to, because financially it'd be easier. It'd be easier to find housing, employment. It would be easier to have sexual romantic relationships, which luckily for me, I don't care about that stuff anyway. So that part's easy for me. But, you know, people just don't get it. But if you're transgender, you know very much what I'm talking about. And I feel like this whole transgender experience that has happened for many of us gives us a way of starting to understand that the soul is real and that who we are is a real thing. And it doesn't necessarily come from our physical brain or body. You know, I just don't think it does. Now, somebody can try to prove me wrong, I suppose, and many will, but this topic is so interesting that I really had to do a live stream talking about it, you know? Oh, we have comments. Oh, but there was no dance. Oh, because I didn't dance when I did the song. Okay, man. Like let's see. Can I dance while singing this song? Okay, I'm gonna try this again. I don't really know if I can dance while singing a song that I don't really have memorized yet, but I'm gonna try for the sake of my favorite chicken friend. Okay. When you were born, something changed my heart could not contain. The miracle of this world and all that it creates. With every passing day, the winds might blow stronger and carry us away, but we will hold on to joy to light the way, to keep the reminder that love does not escape. I'm yours forever. There is no end to us inside, nothing could measure the kind of strength inside our hearts. It's all connected. We're all together in this life, don't you forget it. We're all connected in this life. Don't you forget it. We're all connected in this life. And I have a female soul, and my roommate has a male soul. My biologically female roommate has the soul of a dude man. Like, I swear. Oh man, if only Monique was here, and Pafo, and Rumi, and my wife. What? Oh man, I know we could have a real party. And here's the truth of the matter here is, my roommate, despite being a lot of fun, is a very kind of camera shy and kind of a shy private person. And so he's probably going to kick my ass later for having talked about him as much in this live stream as I did. Oh, but man, it's worth it, because this was a good live stream. And I really did want to talk about transgender people and the gender soul, you know, what gender is your soul, you know, because what my experience is, and then what I see my roommate going through in the past 4 years or so that I've known him, has really led to this line of thinking. This is some dangerous thinking, you know. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed my fabulous live stream where I talk about the soul of the gender, or whatever. Does the soul have a gender? So Let me know in the comments, what gender is your soul? And do you think I'm right that our soul has a gender? Or do you have another explanation? Maybe the soul doesn't have a gender and all this stuff about gender is just bullshit. Maybe the idea of gender, if you could still believe in a soul, but you could still think that concepts of sex and gender are still physical things. But either way, there's a soul, and I personally feel that your soul having a gender is probably the best explanation for transgender people. But if you think I'm wrong, I'd love to hear your comments. So I guess I better go donate plasma and end this live stream. I'm trying to earn every little bit of money that I can because I got to pay my rent and bills, and somehow I have to help my mom get her dental work. So earlier I posted in the comments the links to the fundraiser to help my mom with her teeth, and also my roommate's fundraiser. I may also want to put those links in the description of this video as well. So I'm going to end this live stream, and if you would like me to talk about the soul of the gender, or the gender of the soul in the future, I could always do a part 2. So as I always say in every live stream, be excellent to each other and party on, dudes.